Yo, welcome back to the house where we talk new celebrities and hot topics. Listen, I want to go ahead and talk about last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I will be doing 2 videos on Atlanta today. The first, which I just want to get y'all updated on what's happening between these 2 women, Kandi Burruss Tucker and Drew Sidora. Drew Sidora is low-key calling Kandi Burruss Tucker a liar. And then in my other video, we will be doing a detailed recap on last night's episode. And I thought the episode was pretty cute, right? I know the girls on Twitter, they're saying reboot, reboot, reboot. But listen, we have to take these great moments when we get them. And I do feel as though, the Portugal trip is kind of cute to me. I liked it. But we'll get into that in just a second. But let's go ahead and set the, preface this by mentioning the dynamics of these alliances. I feel like there are 2 alliances this season. One is falling all the way off the charts. Okay? One is cracking, one is imploding like the damn submersible. Okay? And the other seems to be really solid. So let's talk about the solid one. We have Marlo, we have Sheree, we have Sonya, and we have Courtney. They're pretty solid, right? Even though, and y'all be saying that Sonya is in Sheree and Marlo's ass, and Sonya has a backbone and she has a mind of her own because she definitely clocked She by Sheree and how the website was not up, but I felt like she did it in a sincere, respectable, assertive manner. But other than that, they're solid. Ain't nothing really going on between them. They get along. When Kenya and Kandi are not around, it's just peace, right? Then you have Kandi, Kenya, Drew, and Monyetta. They're on a team. 4 of them. But why do I feel like Monyetta, Kandi, and Kenya are kicking Drew out? So instead of a foursome, it's really becoming a threesome. And I feel like Drew Sidora is becoming a free agent because of several reasons. We have Kandi shading Drew. It's a low budget Beyonce blow, calling Drew Sidora's music video low budget. We have Drew shading Kenya, talking about some, her acting career is over. She hasn't been in a movie since Twa. We have Kandi shading Drew, talking about some end scene, right? Saying she's acting, she's being fake, she's being overly dramatic and all of those things, and didn't even bother to check on her friend who had your back against Marlo at the Gucci brunch. I mean, I'm just saying, right? Drew Sidora was windmilling for Kandi at that Gucci brunch, being her lawyer, because Sonya couldn't be Marlo's lawyer. But Kandi Burruss Tucker did not want to check on Drew Sidora when Drew was acting, or when Drew was crying, excuse me. Well, it's a really interesting situation. There are a lot of cracks when it comes to that alliance, because I do agree there are 2 alliances or 2 friend groups within the 8-some. Okay? You got 4 over here and 4 over there. And then to top it all off, at the end of last night's episode, Drew Sidora called Kandi Burruss Tucker a liar. And y'all know Kandi, she don't play about her kids. She don't play about her man. She don't play about her mama. And when it comes to her, she don't play about drugs, drinking, and lying. That's one thing that Kandi is going to stand on, that she does not drink, she does not do drugs, and she does not lie. And we know that because of the whole Portia situation. They were somewhere out the country on the cast trip, and Portia had a boyfriend named Todd at the time, and they were sitting together. And Kandi brought out receipts talking about she's the one who wanted to lick my box or something like that. I think that's the season where Portia accused, Kandi of the dungeon. So it's really interesting. And we saw her tell Portia, I don't drink. I don't even drink. So why would I do anything regarding drugs? Right? And so that's kind of like Kandi's alibi throughout this whole show, excuse me. Right? Because I don't drink, because I don't do drugs, I have the memory of a goddamn hard drive, a 1 terabyte hard drive, bitch. I have the memory of a goddamn hard drive. I remember everything. Which takes us to back in Portugal where the ladies are reminiscing about the bolo trip. So let me set the scene. In last night's episode, the last scene, they're doing a girls' night in slumber party sort of situation in Sheree's hotel room in Portugal. Sheree orders pizza and pasta. They're drinking 1800 tequila, etc., etc. And then cameras at 11:47 p.m. go down at night. Notice how throughout the season, after a certain time, cameras go down, right? And they start filming with iPhone footage. I think that's a way of saving money. The ratings are down, so we need to save money, contracting these, cameramen for all of these after hour events. And so send them home and let's film off of an iPhone. Okay. I see where the budget is budgeting. Okay. They are budgeting over there at Bravo. So cameras go down and they have this iPhone footage and the women are kikiing and they're cackling and they're ha-ha-ing and hee-heeing. And they start reminiscing about Charleston, South Carolina. Well, what happened in Charleston, South Carolina 2.5 years ago? That was season 13, the Bolo trip, right? Cynthia Bailey's bachelorette trip, right? Where they had Bolo the stripper, Kandi hired Bolo the stripper to perform, and then Portia and Tanya allegedly got their peaches cobbled, and then Tanya fled the scene to Canada. Well, during that night, it was rumored that Drew Sidora and Latoya Ali were making out. They were kissing. And that was revealed or confirmed, I believe, at the season 13 reunion. Right? Where Latoya basically says, yeah, Drew Sidora cheated on me cheated on her husband with me. That's what Latoya Ali said. Latoya said Drew cheated on her husband with me because we made out that night that Bolo was there. And then Kandi corroborated that story. And when Kandi corroborates something, most people in the friend group believe it because Kandi don't do drugs, Kandi don't drink, and Kandi has a great memory. Okay? And then Kandi has no reason to lie at all. Like, why would Kandi lie? What would be Candi's motive to lie on Drew Sidora about whether she kissed Latoya or not? There is no motive. So I wholeheartedly believe that Drew Sidora did make out with Latoya. Anyways, going back to present day, in Portugal, they are reminiscing on Drew kissing Latoya, and Drew is steady denying it. Now, don't ask me why they are rehashing something from years ago, way back in season 13. I think the only reason, right? I think the only reason why the producers decided to include this footage is because it kind of coincides with the future, episodes, or it's kind of foreshadowing the future episodes where we see Drew getting a divorce from her husband, Ralph. And I think a major part of that is Drew Sidora's alleged lesbian escapades. They're saying that Drew was cheating on Ralph with women, right? And a lot of people onto the social media, they're saying, oh my God, RHOA is having another homophobic storyline. But I don't think the purpose of bringing this stuff up is to expose Drew Sidora for being gay. Nobody cares about you liking girls. The point is that you're cheating on your husband with girls. Right? The gender doesn't really matter, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's cheating. I don't think Ralph approves. So anyways, so I believe that's why the producers decided to insert this footage, right? Of them reminiscing and arguing about, the Bolo trip. So Kandi is steady going like, yeah, and we're back in Portugal. Kandi is steady going, you did kiss her. You kissed Latoya. I saw it. You can't make me unsee what I saw, right? I tend to believe Kandi. Drew was drunk that night. Tanya was drunk. Portia was drunk. Kenya was drunk. Marlo was drunk. Everybody was drunk. Cynthia was drunk, and she went upstairs to pleasure herself. Everybody was drunk except Kandi. I believe her. So they're going back and forth. And Drew's like, I never did that. I never did that. I never did that. What are you talking about? That's not true. That's not true. What you're saying is not true. So Candy's like, why do I have to lie about that? You think I'm going to sit up here and lie on you about kissing Latoya? That's a dumb lie. Why would I have to lie about that? So I don't know why Drew Sidora is lying. I think she's lying about it because she doesn't want to be seen as being unfaithful to her husband. She doesn't want to be seen as unfaithful to her husband while painting herself as a victim because her husband has allegedly been unfaithful to her. Because you can't play a victim talking about he's in Tampa, he's this, he's being oiled down, you know what I mean, by the girl working on your music video. He's in Chocolate City, auditioning for Chocolate City in Vegas and stuff like that. What in the world is he doing? He's a master manipulator, a cheater, a gaslighter. You cheating on your man with women does not fit your victim narrative. So she's lying about it, I think. So, and in the process, she's calling Kandi a liar. And Kandi's getting upset like, girl, why do I have to lie for? So again, you guys are probably thinking, you're wondering like, why are we talking about this from all these years ago? But I think, again, it's foreshadowing the situation because then they're going to clock the tea about Ty, Mimi's ex from Love and Hip Hop. Ty is the girl, tall, light-skinned, woman. I believe she's in the WNBA, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know. They're saying that Drew cheated on Ralph with this girl. Now, back to the alliances before I wrap it up. I think this is the nail in the coffin. We thought that Monietta, Drew, Kenya, and Kandi, we thought there was a foursome, but it seems like those three are pushing that one out, right? And so this whole thing about who's lying about Drew kissing Latoya, I think is a nail in the coffin. Along with the fact that I low-key feel like Drew was afraid of Kandi, right? Because in that same scene, and we'll talk about this more when we really get into the recap of the whole episode, but during that scene, we saw Drew Sidora confronting Kandi Burruss Tucker about her basically calling Drew fake and phony, and she was acting and being overly dramatic when she got up from the table and cried because she felt as though Sheree was making light of her $1,000 lawsuit, right? So in that hotel room, in Sheree's room, Drew is like, so, Kandi, since this is your last night, I heard that when I got up from the table, you were basically saying that I was acting. And then she goes on to say, those were my real feelings and I'm vulnerable and you need to be my friend and yada, yada this. And Kandi was forced to apologize, right? It was very reminiscent of, remember, the ladies were at City Winery and Drew Sidora was performing with Candace Dillard Bassett. And then at the very end, all the ladies went backstage and they started talking. And the producer was, I guess, pressuring Drew Sidora to mention the shooting at Blaze Steak and Seafood. It was very reminiscent of that. Remember when Drew Sidora was like, so, Kandi, so, what happened with the incident? Drew Sidora, to me, she doesn't fit the mold unless Drew Sidora is windmilling for Kenya and Kandi against Marlo. Unless they are, unless they have a common enemy in Marlo, Kenya, Kandi, Drew, and Monietta, they don't mesh. I see it. I totally see it. Drew is low-key scared of Kandi. Never wants to confront Kandi on anything. She's so scared to say anything that's unfavorable about Kandi to Kandi. She's scared. I don't know why Drew Sidora is. Maybe because Kandi has seniority. How do you say that word? Kandi has been there the longest. She's the most senior member of all of Housewives history. Never missed a season since season 2. The busiest, most clout, the most famous, got the most money. So I don't know if it's Kandi's status as to why Drew Sidora is so afraid of her, but Drew is afraid of Kandi. While at the same time, subsequently calling Kandi a liar. Kenya is shading Drew. Drew is shading Kenya. Kandi really don't care too much that Drew is crying. If this is supposed to be an alliance, you guys are doing a really terrible job. I mean, I'm just saying. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the situation in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to create a great day.